So it seems like Arsenal are getting their transfer business sorted early, or the wheels are now in motion to do such. It looks like while we can't count our chickens before they hatch, the Calafiori deal is progressing and we should get that over the line. Now, I don't know how you lot feel, but for me personally, I believe Arsenal need a central midfielder. I don't care where we source that midfielder from. We just need to address the issues in the middle of the park. Got a lot of time for Jorginho and Partey. They haven't really got time on their side in terms of age. Fabio Vieira and Smith Rowe haven't quite, grab the spot in the immediate 11. And I feel while the debate is relation to, bringing in a defender, bringing in attacking reinforcements, and the football game that we all love is won and lost in the defensive and final third, is played in the middle of the park. Arguably in today's day and age, central midfield has never been more vital, as we see inverted fullbacks, even, if I'm honest with you. Now, simultaneously, as we all know, South America is a gold mine for talent, people. Argentina is a hotspot. There's a rising star drawing a lot of interest from several European-based clubs. You could say Arsenal, Marseille, Liverpool, the Tottenham Hotspur, Fiorentina have all been linked with Mr. Fernandez, the 21-year-old central midfielder who is currently at Boca Juniors and is drawing a wide range of admirers for his exploits in central midfield. I like him. I can't claim to know him religiously and act like I'm the most knowledgeable, but I like what I see. I think he's a very dynamic footballer. He's capable of playing as an 8 or a 6. I think currently he's probably more suited to a 6. I think he's got a very good passing range. I think he's got a great level of determination and a very high and raw technical ability. And it's clear to see why Europe is coming calling for his signature, people. And he's also had to deal with adversity. Currently in 2024, as suggested, people, he's being linked with a lot of big clubs. He's starring for Boca Juniors, but it took him a while to break in. This is someone that in 2021 struggled to break into the Boca Juniors 11, and then he joined newly promoted Tigre to gain a vital game experience. And since then his stocks have been rising, people. When he did go on that loan spell, he was in a more defensive role, and after an initial period of adversity, he has built himself into a monster of a player, and that is why his performances for Boca Juniors have gone up. He's playing in a slightly more advanced role nowadays, people, or a box-to-box kind of all-action midfielder, to describe that, people. And I think now mostly, Argentinian and South American based football fans are aware of his name. Very shortly, European clubs and European fans will know him if they don't already. If you go back into 2023 and use a small sample size, his pass completion rate was 88%, people, which is crazy. And it shows that he plays a vital role in the engine room in Boca Juniors' midfield. As, time's gone on, he's kept progressing and he's become a man that his teammates on a typical basis look to rely on in the middle of the park. Apart from his exploits generally in the Argentinian league in the Copa Libertadores, forgive me for the tongue-ties, people, he scores very high for accurate pass completion, for passes per game, and he's showing more and more of the other dynamics in the middle and final third. He's ever improving. You can't expect a 21-year-old to be the finished article, and he's becoming a much more complete, multifaceted midfielder, which again highlights his intelligence. Boca Juniors have used a number of different formations during Fernandez's time at the club. He's played in a more, double pivot on the left hand side. He's played as a lone 6. He's played as a box-to-box role, which for me, with my limited knowledge, I think he's suited to that. I think he's improving in terms of his line breaking passes and contributing more in the final third beyond goals and assists, even though I think he could improve. At a point last season, people, he's a man that would thrive in a possession-based side, and he demands possession. As I just said, at a point last season, he averaged 82.45 touches per 90, which put him in the 97th percentile such statistics, people. He also touches the ball than more of his teammates at the time, people, at 88.4% per 90 of players who have played 10 or so full games, people. He also is in the 90th percentile using this sample size for successful take-ons. He beat his man Paws 1.51 times per 90. So this further highlights that 21 years of age, he's grown in importance and he's becoming central to Boca Juniors. And I'm sure they know, such is life, the European clubs will come calling and they probably will command a big fee for him, people. He stands at 5'10" allegedly. Now, there are some conflicting rumors in that. He is quite lanky and quite gangly, and his legs do, I do help him in terms of winning the ball back and stuff like that. But I think his game more so is based on intelligence. He's tenacious. He's willing to get stuck in. He's a fantastic player, in my opinion. I think he's got a high footballing IQ. He's relatively good with both feet. I think his body language is positive. I think his body positioning on and off the ball in terms of receiving the ball and setting himself up defensively is quite good. Once again, I think he's got a high technical level. Ultimately, I think he will thrive in a possession-based team, if I'm honest with you. And I think he's got a massive range of variety of passes and a general very good passing range. You know, at Boca Juniors, he's in the 92nd percentile for forward passes, 91st for defensive actions, 80th percentile for progressive carries, and no midfielder had more passes per 90 in the 2023 Premier Division, which shows he's becoming a more complete and all-action central midfielder. I think he's very dynamic as well. When you look at his recovery map, people, based on his time on loan in 2022, it shows someone that will get all over the field. So if he's got the gear to match the idea, you got the technical level and the tenacious approach. You're clearly very coachable. You've got a very good foundation base and a solid foundation. Why couldn't Mikel Arteta, who's got a track record of improving players, thrive with this? Now, Edu, I don't know if it's going to be Brazil, Argentina, Bolivia, Peru, Chile, whatever you want to say. We need to start utilizing the South American market, if I'm honest. And again, when you look at his heat map, people, it further reflects his ability to cover all actions and all areas of the pitch in a dynamic sense. He also scores quite positively for passes, ground rules won, successful dribbles, and general defensive statistics are very kind to him, people, much like his passing and everything else. So he's a player that I feel will, at some point, if not this summer, go to a European club. He's a player that apparently is going to be part of the Argentina Olympic side. And I would imagine, you know, at some point he'll be capped by the full international team and maybe will star at a Copa America. He's drawn high praise from even Alexis McAllister, people, who said he's got everything to make the step up. And I think, you know, throughout this video and what I've seen and the statistics, it reflects a player once again with a good foundation that could be developed into a real top player. So why not for Arsenal Football Club? Now, for what it's worth, we have been linked with him before, as have AC Milan, Spurs, Fiorentina, Liverpool, Porto, and currently Marseille. Just by looking on Google, it says that. So there's probably a lot of admirers in him. We know, you know, where South American talents are concerned, you'd imagine Benfica could get involved. So for what it's worth, I think we've ran the rule over him. I don't think we'll move for him, but he's a player that I would at least take a chance on, take a punt on, depending on the price tag, which is going to be ever rising. In short, you know, his talent is undeniable. He's already a key member of one of the biggest teams, in South American football, competing in some of South America's biggest competitions and thriving, people. Now, the biggest question mark will be, you know, can he truly make the step up into a top 5 European league, and would he thrive? But it feels like that's the next step and that's the rite of passage, people. And how would his game scale up in that regard? So he's a player I will be keeping tabs on. He's a player I got a lot of time for. And he's a player that, you know, I think Arsenal could do a lot worse, people. But that's enough of my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, stay safe, stay blessed. Check out the rest of the content. You'll have been supporting the tactical analysis videos and general videos I've been doing. So if you haven't had enough of your DG fix, check out the other ones. Thank you in advance for those who have watched my Asperilla video. And yeah, on that note, peace.